Welcome everyone in the Beloke community to the fourth episode of the Paddock the Goals Flood Recovery Series, brought to you by the Beloke Shire Council in partnership today with the North Central Football League, Donald and Birchip Football, Netball and Hockey Clubs, the Victoria Police, Beloke Times, and of course with the great funding support from the amazing team at Emergency Recovery Victoria. My name's Travis Fitzgibbon. I'm the Director of Community Development at Beloke Shire Council, and it's my turn again to host today. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands from which we broadcast and extend our respects to elders past, present and emerging. This round, we'll be looking at the essential roles of volunteering in making our communities a great place to live, work and play. Our discussions also aim to improve the understanding of the October 2022 flood event, document lessons learned and emphasise the role of local activities and organisations in promoting community connections. You can, of course, listen from your car today at the North Central Football League action while you watch the footy, the netball and the hockey, or if you're not a footy fan, at home, in the car, or wherever you'd like to take it in. Let's tap into our local scribe, Shane O'Shea from the Beloke Times. It's round 8, and for the first time in quite a long time, we're celebrating a King's birthday round of football, Shane.
Welcome to the Beloke Times newsroom. It's great to be back on board again. And yes, the King's birthday weekend. North Central actually hasn't played over the long weekend since about 2015 because of buys. So it'll be something novel, but it'll give those coming back for the weekend something to do and to see our army of volunteers at work.
That's a great opportunity to pop on the Freeze MND beanies, which Shane and I are both adorning. So if you haven't got yours to enjoy the big weekend of King's holiday, King's birthday holiday sporting action, get your hands on one for a great cause. Shane, we're almost halfway through the season. How's it shaping up? What are you seeing?
If I start at the top and work my way down the ladder, Sea Lake and Andale carried all before it. They've got a big clash today against Donald. But the Tigers are carrying all before them. Nullarbor currently in second position, only lost 2 games, one at the last round against Donald, and it created a very favourable impression. Play a good brand of football. They're a very passionate club, and it's great to see go around the Traps. I was at Nullarbor last weekend, and to see their volunteers in the canteen or umpiring, whatever they're doing. And I think you've touched on the volunteers. They're the lifeblood of our clubs, and football clubs, hockey and netball also provide a focus for those people during the winter season, which can be a pretty dismal time or quiet time, if you like, social-wise.
Yeah, it can be, and we've made really strong note of the fact that there's such a high volunteerism rate in Beloke Shire. Generally, when these things are calculated and reported, we're 1 or 2 in the state per LGA, so per capita across the LGAs, and a high, the highest, in fact, participated sport activity in Beloke Shire too for Victoria. So if you're involved in volunteerism or playing sport, it's highly likely you're involved in the North Central Football League in some capacity. So hopefully we've got your ears today. Shane, in Beloke, we are pretty good at bouncing back, and we've taken some knocks. Sometimes they knock us down. Sometimes we get straight back up. But it's important that we do rally around our own. Last week, the North Central League had its own headspace round as well.
And that was very impressive the way it was conducted at Nullarbor and Birchip, and the clubs. All clubs got involved in it, and I think the person judged the best epitomises the headspace message received the ball at netball and football. So that was good. It's been a tough period, and for one reason or another, clubs have found it a bit hard in some ways to get back into action on the football field. But our supporters are slowly coming back, and I probably should have carried on a little bit before. Birchip Watcham, our reigning premiers, have had a slow start to the season for one reason or another, but they're starting to hit form. And Donald and Witchy Narraport, Bort and Wedderburn, they're all in the mix. So we've got probably 7 out of the 9 teams with realistic chances of playing finals if they're good enough. With
the rain we've had this week, Shane, it starts to get a bit harder. The ground's heavier. Those bodies hit in a bit harder. It'll start sorting the wheat from the chaff, so to speak.
Certainly will. It's been a magnificent rain, and probably most of our farmers would have finished sowing or very near it. And it just gives them, they'll have a spring in their step. But the footballers, their ground's going to be a little bit softer. But from what I've seen, they're all in great condition. They can handle plenty of rain. They've got good drainage. So, after that rain, we should have big crowds this weekend because no one will be able to get on the tractor to work for a while.
Just folding back onto the headspace round last week, Shane, how important do you think your you're on the ground week in, week out amongst the clubs across the district. How important are these kind of interventions at club level?
If I can take it from a club point of view, you can play an important community role, just giving some people a place to come to that they might feel isolated, but they can come to the football and cheer their team on or get involved in a volunteer capacity. And it's, I think the headspace, we never thought much about that. It was always a physical game. And that's what we focused on, healing the players, getting their bodies right to play. But we never had, it wasn't a lot put into getting their minds right. And it's become such a focus these days, an important focus. And it can help support from your peers in the football club and those around you can go a long way to easing those fears and apprehension that you may have. They just play a fantastic role within each of the communities we've got around here. And you go around the North Central League, all 9 clubs now are very similar. They all are working for the same cause, but they do provide people with a great place to socialise and get involved.
It's a great point, and the clubs are great places to be with people that look out for you. But if you are looking for that extra help or those extra tools that you might need, Headspace is a great resource. Even if you don't need them now, go and have a look and arm yourself up for those times where you might. You never know when you need that bit of extra support. The Victorian Department of Health is funding a series of free training workshops to support flood-impacted communities throughout regional Victoria. As part of this program, Phoenix Australia is running a series of half-day psychological first aid workshops delivered virtually throughout the month of June. So this training is designed to enhance the ability of frontline workers and community leaders to understand trauma and how it can impact people, understand the principles of PFA, and use those principles to support themselves and others. So for more information about these workshops and to register, please visit training.phoenixaustralia.org/PFA-floods. If you get somewhere near that into your search bar, I'm sure you'll find it. It's important to reflect on those who are taking care of us at the moment as well. They're doing it tough. Our rural doctors, our healthcare staff, providing that essential face-to-face support. They're in short supply, as we all know. They're all fatigued, and it's always great to acknowledge the amazing work that they do. Shane, now our Mayor and CEO, Councillor Alan Gettley and Wayne O'Toole, they're both headed to Canberra next week to attend the National General Assembly for local government. They'll speak with ministers, they'll advocate for Beloak, they'll be armed with our advocacy strategy. Listeners, if you haven't seen what your Beloak Shire councillors are advocating for, it is available on our website, hitting all our strategic objectives in our council plan. So hop on and have a look at what council is advocating for from other levels of government. They'll be armed with that document. Shane, if you were heading up to Canberra next week with the CEO and the Mayor, and you had the ears of ministers and federal members, what would you like to see passed on from the federal government?
Oh, just the support our communities need in times of natural disasters and whatever. We tend to have to do a lot of the hard work, heavy lifting ourselves, and just access to services can make our life a bit easier would be great to have. In-place services crucial in rural Victoria. I absolutely agree, and I'm sure that both Wayne and Councillor Gettley will be advocating for those very things. Hey, Shane, thanks for spending some time again with us on the Paddock the Goals. What are you looking forward to most across the King's birthday weekend of football, netball and hockey? Well, I'm trying to think we could have our own slide, and I reckon Jay Postlethwaite would be an ideal first slider. Maybe we could start up a bit of a campaign to get that done. I'm just looking forward to seeing family and friends and people I haven't seen from up Sea Lake Way. I'll be going to Donald and just catching up. Our weekends are great now that we're back playing our 3 sports, football, hockey and netball, and catching up again. It's a real pick-me-up. It just makes life more worthwhile. Well put, and I'm sure if we did have a slide, Jo Poss would be only too happy to dress up. She does love a dress up, and particularly for a good cause. Hey, thanks, Shane. Once again, you've started off really well, set us up beautifully with a great first quarter. Enjoy your weekend at the sports. I certainly will.